Bonjour mes amis, it's me Sophia Beaumont and I am back and welcome to season 1 of Not Magic. Today I just wanted to give you a brief introduction into my book, The Spider's Web, which is available in ebook and paperback from Amazon. And I also wanted to give you a little bit of a reading. I'm just going to go through very briefly, probably the prologue, just to give you a little bit of an introduction into the book, and then I'll be back soon with more videos to tell you a little bit more about the book and the series. Please don't forget to subscribe below. I've got more videos coming, and let's just dive right into it. So The Spider's Web is a young adult urban fantasy, and it's sort of a retelling on the myth of Arachne. And it's the story of Evie Capelli, who is a young woman living in Toronto, and she has had a very rough time of it. The story opens after she has attempted suicide and is now in an inpatient facility. She's about to be released, and she's been seeing ghosts ever since she woke up, but she's been kind of hiding it because she doesn't want people to think that she's even more crazy than she already is. And after all of this, she ends up going back home, and her family's not very welcoming to her. They're having a hard time dealing with her mental health issues and her mental illness, so she decides to move to another city to live with her aunt. And that's when things really start to pick up for her, because not only is she seeing ghosts, but it turns out that she is the reincarnation of Arachne's daughter, and there's a cult of Athena who wants to kill her and sacrifice her to bring back the goddess. So I'm going to read to you from the prologue here, and I hope you enjoy it. They say that for a good story to work, you can't ever quit. You have to fight to overcome all obstacles to reach your goal. The funny thing is, my story began when I gave up. I spent my entire life trying to obtain uniformity. I went to Catholic school. I wore the uniforms. I did my best to keep up with the other kids and never go past them. That's why I like to knit and crochet so much. Every stitch is uniform, exactly the same. It's calming. Nothing stands out unless I want it to. I can control the shape it takes, the color, the texture. There's always been someone telling me how to speak, what to wear, how to spend my free time. But this is one thing that I can control. Dr. Fisher nodded sagely, eyes closed. The other 3 members of the group clapped politely. The public speaking portion of the session completed, I relaxed my grip on the slipper I was crocheting ever so slightly. Thank you, Evie. You've made some great progress in the last few weeks, she said. Her curly blonde hair fought valiantly against the clip binding it in place. One spring-like lock bounced loose and flipped in front of her gaudy glasses. Today's selections were lime green with rhinestones. I swear she had a different pair for every day of the week, maybe every day of the month. The doctor checked her watch. That's all we have time for right now. Same time tomorrow, everyone. We mumbled our farewells and shuffled off in different directions. I folded up my metal chair and slid it into a corner with the others. A hand touched my shoulder. Evie, would you join me in Dr. Sanchez's office? I nodded, following Dr. Fisher out of the common room, down the long hallways of St. Mary's. I'd always thought mental hospitals would have white walls and padded cells. We'd wear uniforms and spend our days on hard leather couches talking about our feelings to doctors with German accents and thick white mustaches. The reality was a bit different. St. Mary's reminded me of a cross between an elementary school and the office of my childhood pediatrician. Soothing colors with names like seafoam and mellow butter and clear skies covered the walls. Patient artwork hung from thumbtacks set directly into the drywall. Maybe the adult ward was a little bit different, but since I was only 17, I had to share a ward with kids as young as 7, though there wasn't much overlap in our schedules. Dr. Fisher buzzed me through the first set of doors to where most of the exam rooms were. Dr. Sanchez, who was in charge of the minor ward, had the last office on the left. Now, this is just preliminary, nothing to worry about, but I think you'll do great. We'll get you back to your family in no time. Fantastic. After 3 months, I was more than ready to get out. I just wanted my own room with my own things back. I was never able to get used to nut house pillows. Dr. Sanchez was tall and Latin. He did have a mustache, but it wasn't overly bushy and only beginning to go gray. Evie, he boomed. He always boomed when he said patients' names. Have a seat." He gestured to the 2 vinyl-covered chairs across from him. Dr. Fisher and I each took one while he shuffled his notes. "I've been hearing good things about you lately," he said at last. "You've made a lot of progress since you came to us. How do you feel?" I swallowed, taking a deep breath. "I feel fine. It wasn't a lie. Not really. I really felt a lot better. Almost normal, or at least as close to it as I ever got. I still have my moments, but I understand it's something I will have to work on, at least for the next few months, if not the rest of my life. There isn't a magic bullet to make depression go away, but I think I've learned how to handle it a little bit better now." "Good to hear. Now, what about your delusions? There was some concern right after you came to us that there was more wrong than just a simple case of chronic depression, at least as simple as that ever is. Any relapses?" I pointedly did not look over my shoulder. His hand was there, his attempt to reassure me such that it was. Average height, curly reddish hair with a streak of silver that matched his eyes, but a face younger than either indicated. I could smell the ozone and leather from his jacket, hear the rustle of his blue jeans when he moved. He'd been there since I woke up in the ICU. "Just like we rehearsed," he said. I looked Dr. Sanchez in the eye. "No, none at all." So that is the first couple pages of The Spider's Web. I hope you'll check it out. I'll leave a link to the Amazon page below, and I will be back soon with more videos. Thanks.